Okay.
Mav, question the day leading to the game. Does the Ilios map make you hungry for Greek food? Yes or no?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Like just having like a gyro or something with like tzatziki sauce on it just makes me fucking hungry.
Yeah, that seems pretty good.
So, early predictions. We haven't really seen the Luna Firefoxes play before. This is their first, I would probably say, debut into the kind of stream, media version of Overwatch. Um, Clearly, we've seen Amazon Angels. Early predictions of who you think might win this first map?
I would be honestly quite disappointed in everybody of the Amazonian Angels if they lose to London Fire just based on the enemy team's pure lack of mechanical skill. So if they actually lose, I'd be very upset.
They are going into a pretty negative form though, due to their loss to Heroic's team. And they're going to be playing against Heroic tomorrow. So it would be interesting to see if they can continue the good form they're playing against these people into the next game.
Yeah. I think personally, one thing that I always like to think of is I guess one thing that I always do before we play is I make sure to, because like how occasional, right? You'll get burnt out by it on Overwatch, especially of the quantities that I play it. That's why I typically after maybe 2 hours before anything serious, I usually take a huge break. Warrior just killed both their supports. My bad. Almost killed both their supports by one boop. But I just do it so that way I can relieve stress. I don't get burnt out in the game. And I can overall perform with a better morale, I guess, towards the game and everybody else inside it.
Yeah, and clearly with the girls here, even though the Luna Foxes got the first pick on Gianna early on, it seems like the women have still prevailed. The blue women taking the point.
Yeah, I think personally they should. The red girl should definitely not be running solo heals, especially against counter dive. I know I'm not in their voice chat, so I can't really say that they have bad communication. But I know counter dive is something that we struggle a lot, mainly because we don't never practice it. But that will probably come down the long road.
Yeah.
I have performed pretty decent in counter dive before. Skybound typically likes to run counter dive when I play with them.
Yeah.
That's what we did in the first tournament that AGL and Amateur and anyone else has ever seen me participate. We ran a counter dive on Volskaya.
Right.
So and we demolished with that. So I know I'm of this caliber needed to do that. But it's something that requires intense communication from your main tank, not your off tank.
Yeah.
When your main tank is Winston, D.Va just shouldn't be talking.
Ooh, with a double pick
it's pretty much at that point just kind of a brain dead thing. But I do think they probably should have ran a Lucio a lot earlier. I think personally, if they ran a Winston or a Reinhardt themselves, it'd probably be very good.
Ooh, with the nasty Reaper ult.
Yeah.
Ooh, Reaper with the 4. Oh, but it's not over yet. They got Genji Blade going in.
But on this map, a lot of people think that Reinhardt's not a good pick over a couple other tanks, right? The red team at to some people may look like an outstanding composition, right? Especially against the enemy team's composition.
Right.
But you think about it, Reinhardt can be good here as well, because his strong suit on control maps is when you capture it.
Right.
It's the same like Symmetra. If you capture it, you will fucking wreck. That in this point, all he has to do is just swing, and anywhere he charges is probably gonna pin someone.
Right. Clearly the point isn't completely over yet.
No one dies to.
Ooh.
I spoke too soon.
Clearly here, in my opinion here, even though, oh, nice Winston push, especially with the Zarya having ult coming up.
Yeah, I think they would have been a lot better off regrouping after they lost the point.
For sure.
Because right now they're still at a number disadvantage and they're wasting ults on it. Like they're kind of relying too much on their Genji to pop off. It just was an equal Excalibur team. You know as much as I do that that will not work.
Yeah, yeah, there's definitely some sloppiness going on, but you know, first round is clearly going to go to the Amazon Angels here, but it wasn't exactly as close as I thought it was going to be. The other Foxes got it to 77%, which is a lot higher than I thought it was going to be. You would think with maybe the SR difference including here, it'd be a pretty clean sweep. 100% full hold, maybe, in my opinion.
I mean, it really just depends. I mean, I think they probably could have held that a lot more better. And even probably made a cleaner retake if I don't know how to say her name, but the Genji, if she would have held on to that and just died and regrouped, that would have had a Genji blade, I think like 2 other ults reinitiating, and it'd been a much more cleaner sweep than it was. But I think for the most part, coming from like my experiences. Dealing with situations similar to this, I think personally, Amazonian is just kind of already done looked at their team and is kind of like thinking like has the mortality that are like, oh well, we're just gonna outclass them, so we might get away with a lot more stuff than what we usually should. And it's working because, like I said, like the mechanical skill difference is just so vast. To the point where most of these players, even though like okay, so like I understand, like I mean I'm not trying to be feminist or anything like that, but like a lot of these players, they primarily play female characters, so it's not like you or me, you know, like you play Mccree, you know, there's not someone that's like Excalibur mechanical like that on either team.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of like more harder on either team if they had to fight against someone like that.
Right. I think actually the Foxes, though, one thing that they're noticing here is that it's not necessarily the damage output. The I'm a Girl 69XX is clearly getting occasional picks that would be necessary to push in, but you know, they're triple supporting. You know, they were triple supporting there. They had a Mora, now they have a Junkrat. I think one thing that is the biggest thing is that the healing aspect on the Foxes side isn't maybe as strong for their DPS to kind of capitalize on anything. But you definitely look at players like Gianna here, who is flanking pretty well. Definitely alt economy is going very heavy in the Amazon Angels section.
I mean, you also gotta think about the fact that, like, not only that, I mean, like the red side's team, right? Like it's not even one fault that's going wrong. Like I think they should keep Shelby on DPS. Just based on what happened last round. I think they should establish roles, just like Amazonian Angels have. And that's one of the main concepts of like compositions, right? Is knowing like who's gonna go on to who and when, you know.
Right.
Like for example, like before this, they had Chubby on something else, and then they switched, and then someone else switched, and then someone else switched. So coming into this team fight, they have no ults now.
Yeah.
And
to
top it all off, it's their first time.
Yeah, this is also the Fox's first time competing against a team like this, and you know, you got to give them some benefit of the doubt that clearly their coordination isn't as great yet, because they probably need some, you know, team practice coming in here. Baby Nesta 209 with the play of the game with Winston. Actually, her play with Winston was actually pretty good. In my opinion, I think she saved her support's life at least once or twice, which just knocking people off the map.
Yeah, that pick on the Zarya was really good. I
Yeah.
got the Lucio there as well. So very impressive plays from both tanks, honestly. That's really it. Like still tremendously good player, not bashing her or anything, but like I would say the MVP is that game was definitely both the tanks.
Right.
But like that's the only reason why. But we've been on the receiving end of XOXO's Genji. It's not too fun.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really not.
King's Row for the next one.
Okay. Oh yeah. By the way, Kirby.
Yes.
If we ever end up playing King's Row again, right?
Yeah.
I wanna see a 5-man flank noon.
You want me to go back to my flanking, Mccree? Instead of playing with the team?
Occasionally. If you know there's a tracer, then yeah. But otherwise, just ask me if you're able to flank. Because if we're getting stomped, just do it.
Okay. Then that's fine by me, because I'm down to do that.
Because I might need you to pull some out of your hat, you know.
I'll try. I think one note here is that obviously our team, the Little Pumas, is is coming with changes and stuff like that. But I think the big thing we just gotta take note is that at times I feel like it's not that we don't necessarily have good chemistry or anything like that, or we don't synergize well. It's just the enemy team either gets one or two lucky things that ends up just completely stomping our chances in a way. But hopefully we set up a skirmish soon, right? We're gonna be trying to set something up soon.
Yeah, I mean we got the next cause like next week is the Plat Diamond tournament, so we got at least I think it's like the 20th is when the next one. It's gonna be the same Excalibur, so because the Diamond and Master one ain't until 27th.
We can qualify for that one? Can we qualify for that?
I believe so, and the reason
GM.
why is because you aren't 4100 yet.
Yeah, okay. Well then I won't try to get to 4100 then. I'll try to stay underneath it if I can.
I mean if you do it doesn't really matter, but I will say this though.
Yeah.
If you get bored, there's always my account.
It's not much more boredom is that I decay.
Because literally, like, I don't know, dude. Like, something about Master Games last season at the end of it literally killed the entire experience for comp for me.
Comp has definitely died down in a way, I think, in its own right. I will say this though, one thing that needs to be noted here, is that the Foxes are running a Pharah, but they don't have a Mercy. And then there's triple DPS, including a Mei, on defense here.
They're quadruple defense DPS.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me go ahead and get my rulebook of team compositions real quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, fuck this shit. I don't need this.
Yeah, the team comps are all over the place. Now they're solo healing with a soldier.
No, they got Mora.
They have a Mora. Now they have a Junkrat. Gianna just having a field day, just picking off people left and right.
I will not waste this opportunity. I will watch over you.
Okay. Do we have to watch this massacre? Like, this is actually getting hard to watch.
Well, my big thing is I wonder what the communication's like for the Foxes
I'm not trying to be negative or anything, but I don't think Amazoning Angels is taking this any bit serious right now.
No, this is an actual team comp they told me about.
What?
Yeah.
Abolished by who?
I have no idea, but someone thought of it. And it's working, I mean, in a way. I mean, I don't think it would work in a higher situation, especially if the enemy team had an actual comp to counter it, but... I mean,
I think if the enemy team had a brain, this wouldn't be working, but... I'm just overall disappointed from both teams at this moment for team composition.
Well, Junkrat does get a pick.
But for the most part, I will say this: the Luna Firefoxes, or Amazonian Angels. I know Kirby probably doesn't know, but I'm also streaming. If you're watching this back, I'm equally mean to both sides, so it's not favoritism. I just like to point out stupid.
Well, the Foxes here taking a check.
They're probably gonna take the whole point. And the reason why I'm saying that.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what's going on. I'm having troubles trying to understand what was going on.
They took the first point.
But the reason why I was saying that is because, like, earlier today, right, I was playing, like I said, I was playing with Brandy on an alt, and it was around, like, about plat level, and we were playing, and everyone was like, should we go? Should we go? And I'm like, yeah, we could actually contest this. And my Brandy and my friend Orbit were like, are you serious? Like, usually you tell me no, do it. Throw your body on the point. We can win this. Our spawns are lined up just like it's supposed to when we do this. Because I was Mercy, right?
Yeah.
Brandy was Diva, and she flew on the point, and I was close to Valk. So what ended up happening is she was able to contest. She got like 1 or 2 picks, and we managed to bring our whole team back just in time to make a full hold on Temple of Anubis. But it was only just because of the spawn. If you get team wiped, you can't do that.
Now, the one thing that is interesting here is that even though the Angels have held here, and the Foxes are clearly pushing up, one thing that's being noted here is that the Amazon Foxes took the point and have pushed it around the first corner already. And in my opinion, I mean, I get it, maybe the Amazon Angels are trying out this comp and stuff like that, but the fact that they got this far already is a little bit interesting.
Yeah, that is very much true. I mean, they're initiating with an alt. Let's see if anybody else follows up on that. I was Shatter here. You should have shattered earlier. You're gonna die. If you don't fucking die, I'm calling hacks. Hacks! You're being reported! Oh, poor Mercy. Nutella, how are you alive? There's so many questions that I want to ask.
They are low, right? They are low though. They're not fully health.
I understand. Also, Nutella, please turn your sensitivity a little bit. I don't think you understand what's going on your screen.
Not impossible push here. They do have Riptire coming up.
You gotta have Riptire. Right now, Nutella's living on literally a fraction of HP. Skylar got Nutella some HP. Nutella's coming up with another Shatter here. She needs to put up a barrier. You need to...
Ooh, Nessa with the scatter in the back.
Go scatter arrow. I think that's a solo ult for the Reinhardt, actually. That's a feels bad man if I ever seen any.
Definitely some ults being softly held here.
But I will like to say though that they're triple tanking with more solo heals. Also, they're running 2 DPS that always need attention, so this is really not helpful for them in the slightest. But if you had, in your opinion right now, Kirby, as far as the Luna Firefoxes, who you would say is their best player at the current point in time?
At the current time, I'm probably gonna have to go with I'm a Girl 69. But I gotta give Cubby Luck some props here, even though he's been only playing Ryan for a little bit. His positioning with Ryan has actually been pretty good.
I mean, for the most part, like his Reaper's pretty decent. His Junkrat's pretty meh. We've also seen him play Mercy. It's not that bad. Seen as Reinhardt, it's not that bad either. I haven't been watching much I'm a Girl, but I haven't really seen much of his name on the top right either.
Right. What's making
So
him
like
more
he might.
essential is he's getting certain, or she, excuse me, I keep saying he, she keeps getting certain picks that does, you know, make a difference in the game. Like that
that's
right
a good
there.
pick. If we get a big shatter here.
Nice shatter. Nice shatter.
Fucking nice, Nutella. Watch out for junk rat nades. Nice.
Oh. See, that was a good.
But
sneaky
yeah,
hammer
I
down
would
the
I
back
would
foot.
say that both of them are pretty good players. Especially for their elo, I would say. Because what is their team like? Silver, gold, plat?
Yeah, their higher
Primarily
rank,
silver and
I
gold.
believe is a plat or maybe diamond at the moment. And the Amazon Angels, by the way, so everyone knows, is a general masters team. They have, you know, pretty much all of them are masters except for one. Um, you know, so clearly, but this is just mostly made for exercise for both teams, both for the Foxes to try their first debut game. You know, obviously they're not going to be playing against teams of such higher elo like this in the future. And it's also a way for have a girls versus girls kind of just team to add, you know, kind of finesse to the content of everything. But I mean, the girls on the Amazon Angels are practicing for tomorrow against Heroic's team again, which they lost to. So this is a way for them to have some finger warm-ups, to try some things. But I mean, the one thing I do have to say is, even though they're winning, I mean, some of the plays have still been kind of sloppy.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'd like to stress. I can't stress enough, especially considering this elo. I mean, I don't typically like. Okay, so like I know Kirby was watching I'm a Girl, right? And I was watching Cubby or Chubby, whatever the fuck you want to pronounce
Cubby.
it. Oh, it's Cubby. Okay, well, basically, like I'm a pretty decently hard person to impress, and especially considering the ranks involved. I would say honestly have Cubby on DPS and probably I'm a Girl. But I think I'm a Girl needs to kind of set up the nudes a little more better, and have either Cubby either as a second DPS, or have her as a tank in some sort. Because she positions like a Reaper, and that transfers over to shielding tanks.
Right. With Queen Supreme getting picked off early, he's not good for the Foxes since there goes their teleporter chances, I believe, in this push. But a revive has been secondly made. I think the biggest thing that you got to really point here is that I really don't think maybe Symmetry was the best idea, just due to the fact of the aggression that the Amazon Angels were putting out. Oh, with the double pick, especially running.
I like to point out that I'm a Girl is a Smurf if I've seen one. Like the sensitivity is very high, and it is fully and like okay, so like typically at lower elos, right? Sensitivity over like 40 is too hard for them to keep an eye on a target or to fully comprehend what's going on the screen. So that's like one of the problems down there is like they have too high sensitivity for their own good. And right now, I'm a Girl even knows about like the tips with Soldier, has decent tracking and has okay positioning as well. However, I don't think it benefits Soldier where he's been positioning though.
Well, I think the one thing is that even though if I'm a Girl is a Smurf, I mean, clearly the whole team's overall SR, even if it was a Smurf, I know for a fact that I'm a Girl is, from what I've seen, is maybe not higher than maybe 35, in my opinion, from what I've seen. Even though, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think reasonably around maybe 28 to 3,300. I think
Yeah.
Master's a little bit out of range.
Yeah. But you know, we'll see.
Because I feel like she would have a little more pull if that was the case.
Yeah, for sure. But definitely,
Especially
I
if
think
she was a
needs to
DPS
go.
main.
I think the Symmetra needs to go, especially if the enemy team with the Sombra was such Sombra being such highly supported in the meta today. You know, I just think even if she puts a teleporter down or a shield gen down, one, the enemy team's lacking heals, and two, the Sombra's just gonna find it. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think the enemy team should lose both barriers. Like they shouldn't need, but they don't need both.
Yeah.
I think the fact I have a Pharah, I mean, my bad, wrong team. Looking at the wrong team. Yeah, I don't really think they need. I don't think they need Narissa here. In the slightest. Especially considering I have Pulse Bomb. Maybe a Zarya would be good. Maybe even a Diva to deal with the Pharah a little bit.
Yeah,
And maybe even a Hog to deal with like the Sombra or something. There's need something other than Orisa, because right now they're still losing a shielding battle.
Yeah, and then clearly from the, I believe the Soldier and Rhyme pick here, even though Mercy has popped ult, I believe this might be game set 2 right now. I think just the biggest thing was the lack of heals. I just think the Foxes just don't have the enough support backing to help the rest of the team, because I think Cubby, actually Cubby was probably, in my opinion, even though Amaguro was doing decent picks, I think Cubby was doing, or in my opinion, trying the hardest. Definitely I think you're right about the double barriers. I think the double barriers was a mistake.
They lacked overall, like there's a problem with like especially fact that like the tanks aren't synergizing with the DPS or the supports.
Right.
So you don't have any character synergy between one another for any beneficial factors. The enemy team does.
Right.
And that's what's happening. Like they have a Sombra, and I believe they had a Diva.
Right.
That's explosive when it comes to double barriers. In a nutshell. So I just think you shouldn't run double barriers unless you're running Bastion and you're running Pirate Ship, and even then it's kind of questionable.
Well, we're gonna try one more, just even though the Amazon has one, but this isn't, you know, an official competition scrimmage. It's a scrim for both teams to try out. Like I said, Luna Firefoxes are just debuting, and Amazon Angels obviously been playing a couple, and they have a little bit more team synergy. But the last map that we're just gonna try for today is Hollywood. We're just gonna try Hollywood and see what Luna Firefoxes can do on Hollywood to try to you know, just I think they're definitely getting a little bit better each time they play. I think they need to have double support. They can't just be running the one solo support. They need to have two. And actually, I would put Cubby, and I agree with you, I'm a girl, on DPS, and put Kenny and Ryuera on, you know, or even put Queen on, because I know she plays Diva. So not double barrier tanks. Definitely run a 2-2-2 strat, I think.
Yeah, typically 2-2-2. It's not until you get a shit ton of practice that other compositions come out. I mean, like our team is at the point where we can. It's just the fact that we need certain characters that aren't always wanted to be played. Which really does suck. But Brandy, hello, welcome back to the stream. Right now, let's go over again that this is a kind of like a scrim / practice between two different all-female teams. Amazon Angels are a purely master team. The Luna and Fire Foxes are, I would want to say silver gold level. With like one plat, maybe one diamond-ish player on an ult. So this is the last game. And then I'll probably end up playing some Rainbow. I have a bunch of brain farts today. I mean, personally, what I'm thinking about doing is, I need to I was doing some thinking, as far as Luna, not Luna Firefoxes, but our team.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that because Ness doesn't always like to play Lucio, but Lucio is almost a must pick, right? I think our other player should be able to play, Mercy and Lucio, right? And have her play Zen and Mora, right?
Right.
And maybe Sim.
Well, actually, one thing was that Nessa offered to me was that Lady Skylar here, who was a High Masters player for. She's a sub in for the Amazonian Loves. So was to also check her out for our main team as well, because I've heard that she's a really good Mercy as well, and can play all supports if need be.
Okay. Because like we need them things, and if the healers can swap around effectively, then it won't make much of a big deal.
Yeah.
But like it was just something that we have to like get used to, because like I feel like Mora and Mercy don't go together,
Yeah.
like ever.
I mean, it can.
It's kind of like
it's just sluggish. It feels slow.
It's kind of bad, especially on defense, because it's kind of risky with little reward. And you're probably wondering like, why do you think this, Mav? Doesn't make any much sense. What could be the wrong? Well,
Right.
if I'm on attack, right, and you're on defense, and I see you're running more on Mercy, I'm gonna go right back into fucking spawn, switching to Zarya. Triangle to win. I don't care if we have. I've already had Diva Bomb. I'm honestly gonna YOLO that bomb, and if it gets any value, I might think about moving. If not, then I'll switch.
So, what do you think of the Little Firefox's comp now? Do you think now that they're running triple tank here with now Mora and Zen, which is a little bit more, in my opinion, correct? Do you think that's a little bit better?
It could, but it really is gonna drum down to the fact that one, Orisa's bad in all triple tank compositions.
Yeah. Ryan probably would be better.
Ryan would be a tremendous pick. I would be aiming for Zarya personally. But like Reinhardt, Hog, and even Zarya would be better picks. You'd want either Winston. You don't want Orisa and on offense, especially if you're running more than just Orisa Hog. They just don't synergize well. Like, but I imagine I probably could make this work if their Orisa pushes first, clears some ground,
Right.
and then try to isolate Nessa by herself. And then have double dive tanks dive her, and then camp her dead body, and then when Mercy tries to come, pick off Mercy.
Right.
And then that will be a win condition in itself.
And this is also advice for obviously the enemy teams and the Firefoxes to take note of, and also at the same time for both teams to realize. I mean, I think the one thing that I would definitely point out the biggest here is that just a constant reminder to everyone that this is just warm-ups for Amazon Angels, and that they are extremely, at least I'd probably say 2300 higher SR than the enemy team. Maybe higher. Maybe I think the overall group rating maybe for the Firefoxes would maybe be 2900, maybe 300.
If I start
3000.
panicking in a few seconds, just know that there's a spider. There might be a spider down my shirt that just fell on me.
Okay, well, let's hope there's not a spider down there.
You're not focusing enough, Farah.
Shut up.
Diva Bomb coming in. Oh, look at picking up the 4, including the D-meching and the D. Great play. Sadly, the Orisa, I think she saw that coming on the enemy team, but she put her shield in front of her, not behind her, to try to protect her team. Chanel with
I think personally, get off of triple tank. Like, in general, I think it would be good if Diva gets her bomb in the next 20 seconds to combo with Zarya. If it gets big, it probably will be value, but it's not going to be that much because Nessa's going to already has TP currently set up, and they have no one at all that can get it other than Diva. That right there, they're going to be too staggered, so it's already game.
Yeah.
Like that right there, they killed them one after another, but not in rapid succession, so they're not going to be able to make a full regroup, especially if they get this Reinhardt. Just keep staggering in. It's going to be a 1v6 this entire rest of this match, and it doesn't matter how many kills the Mccree gets. Junkrat himself's not going to be able to kill the remaining people and get the TP.
Right.
Like it's just like you just gotta understand the win conditions half the time to be able to push these points. And I think they're probably gonna run triple tank, but like our team, we don't typically run it at their first attempt if we lose it. And it's usually because of element of surprise, because usually people are pushed further up. So what ends up happening, you speed boost them in, we get the damage off, and we use our health pulls, and we do well. But the thing is, they weren't running Lucio. They were running Zen Mora. Zen can do good, don't get me wrong, but the thing is, with their composition, Orisa was the anchor that wouldn't let them go forward. I think that would have been good if they discarded a target and told the Reinhardt to charge it. Because if Reinhardt was able to get the pick, and then they dived in afterwards, the healing wouldn't really matter, because the burst damage would be so intense that they wouldn't be able to hold.
Yeah, and I completely agree. So I definitely think that's a good idea.
But that would require an intense amount of communication and execution that I'd be able to question myself if I was able to do that myself.
Yeah. Seems like the girls here are running Quadra Tank with the Lucia Moore. What do you think of that map?
I think if they stay together and they push on point, it should be just fine. As long as Nessa's in the front and it gets bubbled, it should just be just fine. Especially considering the enemy team is running Rissa Diva. Diva's gonna have a hard time dealing with quadruple tank. I mean, okay, so let me explain this a little bit, right? Diva has a hard time when it comes to barriers. And the reason why, like I always say, Orisa Hog is anti-tank is because you halt a tank out of position and I hook it, and I get the kill, there goes one of their members. And that's tremendous, because if I manage to hook a Reinhardt, for example, out of position to kill them, they have no one to initiate with now.
The Amazon Angels here being very aggressive. The question
They
is,
get
are
the
they gonna be able
Symmetra,
to
they get the
focus
yeah.
targets
There's no
here?
TP now. They're all focusing the right targets. They have 3 people on one target. That's game. Bread and butter quadruple tank with the bread and butter composition, and they all focus the same target, just like you're supposed to.
Just was that was done perfectly.
Yes.
Very
Bonjour.
good.
That was actually impressive. It's not really that hard, because think about it like this though. Triple tank is meta right now. It's run quite frequently in OWL. And the reason why is it's brain dead and requires not that much skill involved. And it's just too explosive when it comes to attack.
Well, we all predicted here in the very beginning that obviously the Amazon Angels had a huge advantage over the Luna Firefoxes, but we had to give everyone a hand to the Luna Firefoxes for the first time coming out for their debut.
Yeah, everyone did pretty decent. I would just like I said when this match started, it was going to be based on just pure mechanical skill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the enemy team does not really they have synergy. They have my foot.
I would say though the best person I believe on the Luna Firefoxes right now, surprisingly, is I would probably have to say it was Cubby. Cubby and Scored Luck. I think, in my opinion, even though he was flexing a lot around his team, I feel like he was really trying hard.
She was the most consistent on the whole team. But like I said before, I ended up cursing and dropping a controller on my foot on accident. Mechanical skill, SR, synergy, and even character pool are all bigger and better than the Lunar Firefoxes are at the current point in time. But I do imagine if they practice and they do take it seriously, I imagine that they probably won't be able to put a dent in Amazon Angels for a very long period of time, just based on the mechanical skill gap. However, I probably would say that if they put enough time and effort into it, they could probably put a dent in someone around their SR, if not stomp them. But I need to fix this team composition garbo that they keep throwing at people. 2 supports, 2 tanks, 2 DPS. Need a shielding tank, please.
Get off of me, cat.
All right, well, I just want
Imagine.
to say, Mav, thank you so much for co-hosting with me. Furry, thanks for joining very late, but thanks for being here. Um, but thank you for the Amazon Angels. Thank you for the Luna Firefoxes. Welcome to their first debut game. Hopefully, we'll see more of them. Maybe play against teams a little closer to their elo. But overall, I think the games were pretty good. Even though the Amazon Angels were, clearly the favorites here, there were some mistakes in there where the Luna Firefox clearly showed some potential to, kind of poke through the little gaps that were mistakes that were being made by the Angels, and they were able to push through. Now, tomorrow I will be streaming again, the same time for the Amazon Angels versus Heroics team. Um, and Mav, if you're available,
7.
yeah, I'd like to have you co-host again with me if able.
Can we get
Sure. I'll do that.
a rip Black Panthers in the chat, please?
Well, you like my new team
Um,
name though, right?
What, team disinfection? What, is it infection or infect?
How about you? Can you read?